is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into a Tuesday edition of Main Street Sports Today. On the program, Mo and Chris will be live at the MIDSTATE Classic at Columbia's Ridley Park, where Tennessee and Memphis will be playing softball this evening. The guys are fresh back from Murfreesboro, where SUMMERTOWN fell to East Nashville, the Class 2A state quarterfinals. Thomas Harding from MLB.com will join the show to react to the Braves trade for Matt Olson and what's next for Freddie Freeman. The first four begins tonight. Let the madness commence. Plus, it's Top 5 Tuesday favorite pies on this Ides of March edition of Main Street Sports Today. Beware. Now live to Ridley Park in Columbia with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's some drop from Alabama. Yeah.
Welcome in again, live on location here at Ridley Park as we are watching Montlow State and Columbia State play a little softball before the main event tonight. We've got a doubleheader, so this was right after this one. There will be another Lady Chargers hosting event, so should be fun
against your favorite, the Ladybugs,
of course. As we get you ready for this Tuesday edition, Top 5 Tuesday, it's going to be great. But we have a really, really long rundown. So let's go ahead and get to it and send it back to JP for today's rundown.
Here's the rundown.
Let's do it.
This is your Tuesday Rundown, brought to you by Jim Davis at Grow Live Give. Visit them at growlivegive.com or give them a call at 615-682-0022. Securities offered through IFP Securities, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, IFP member, FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through IFP Advisors, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, Registered Investment Advisor. IFP and Grow Live Give are not affiliated. All right, a busy rundown today. We'll start with the Class 2A quarterfinals. From the Glass House, East Nashville down SUMMERTOWN 70-52. It was Power Center 40, Brainerd 39. And at the half, Tyner leads Bolivar Central 34-32. High school baseball action from yesterday. Gallatin over Alabama Christian 6-4. Zion Christian downs Hampshire 8-2. It is Overton over Gordonsville 4-3. Warren County shuts out Laverne 10-0. Smyrna over Oakland 13-4. Coffee County downs Riverdale 3-2. Cornersville 8, Santa Fe 3. SUMMERTOWN shut out by Eagleville 10-0. Fairview over Colioca 13-0. Spring Hill 3, Lewis County 1. It was Loretto 16. The Tennessee Monarchs 1. Dixon County in a pitcher's duel over Montgomery Central 1-0. Forest outlast Mount Pleasant 14-0. Blackman 1-0 winners over Wilson Central. It was Brentwood 10-0 over Coosa Valley Academy out of Alabama. Rockvale shuts out Columbia Central 9-0. It was Creekwood 13-0 winners over East Hickman. Independence 8-1 winners over Murfreesboro Central. Lipscomb Academy shuts out Pascagoula, Mississippi 15-0. Pope Prep 4, CPA 1. CPA gets back with a 10-5 win in Game 2. Columbia Academy 10-0 over Lawrence County, and Clarksville Academy downs Station Camp 8-0. In high school softball, Austin out of Alabama downs Gallatin 14-1. It is Gallatin 8, New Site from Mississippi 4. Jackson Southside over Gallatin 6-5. It is Loretto falling to Brooks from Alabama 9-0. Lawrence County shuts out Spring Hill 10-0. Riverdale 9, Gordonsville 4. Smyrna 11, Blackman 5. Stewart's Creek 11-1 over Columbia Central. Colioca 15-0 over Santa Fe. Mount Pleasant 23-4 over Frank Hughes. And Clarksville 1-0 over Stewart County, and Columbia Academy 3-0 over Oakland. Hendersonville 5-0 winners in boys soccer. Columbia Academy on the pitch 7-0 over Agathos Classical in that one. JUCO baseball from yesterday. Columbia State in a doubleheader. They pick up 2 over Dyersburg, 5-2 and 6-5. Also, JUCO softball, same matchup. Dyersburg returns the favor, 8-0 over Columbia State and 11-1 in 6 innings in the second game. High school baseball later today, Ravenwood versus Harmony out of Florida at the P-Town Classic down in Jacksonville, Florida. At the Gulf Shores Classic, Gallatin versus Sacred Heart from Mississippi. It is Summit versus Alabama Christian. Bob Jones out of Alabama versus Lipscomb Academy. The Grand Slam Classic features Coffee County and Nolensville. Dobbins Bennett versus Blackman. Warren County versus Smyrna. Oakland versus Tullahoma. Rockville and Wilson Central. Goodpasture and Clarksville. Regular season meetings today. Mount Pleasant is at Forest. Columbia Academy at Lawrence County. Spring Hill hosts Lewis County. Loretto welcomes Richland. Beach will be at Murfreesboro Central. Harpeth at Portland. Santa Fe hosts Cornersville. Summertown is at Wayne County today. Centennial welcomes Lebanon. Hampshire at Frank Hughes. Montgomery Central at Dixon County. Station Camp travels to Rossview. CPA welcomes Pope Prep. And DCA versus Middle Tennessee Christian. High school softball, Gulf Shores Classic down in Alabama. Gallatin and Brookwood from Alabama will face off. Anderson versus Mount Juliet. Summit also down at the Classic in Gulf Shores. Regular season matchups, Portland at Gatlinburg Pittman. Rockville taking on Coffee County. Lawrence County and Loretto, an in-county rivalry there. Forest at Oakland. Huntland is at Siegel. Green Hill welcomes Hendersonville. East Hickman is at Santa Fe. Blackman at Wilson Central. Columbia Academy at Dixon County. On the pitch, boys soccer, Baylor versus Columbia Central at the Siegel Complex today in the Borough. Hickman versus Spring Hill. Lawrence County is at Wayne County. JUCO baseball, Kalamazoo Valley Community College at Columbia State. And they've got a doubleheader there. Wabash Valley is at Ball State, also a doubleheader. JUCO softball, Motlow State is in the Mule Town to take on Columbia State. That at Ridley Park, where Mo and Chris are currently. Baseball in actually men's basketball. We've got one game tonight in the NIT. Belmont is at Vanderbilt, 6 p.m. on the Deuce. Baseball, Vandy welcomes Michigan on the SEC Network tonight at 6. Austin Peay is at Middle Tennessee. Lipscomb and Tennessee Tech will face off. Western Kentucky is at Belmont. It is softball. We've got Florida State at Lipscomb Academy. Memphis versus Tennessee. That'll be 5:30. Of course, that is part of the MIDSTATE Classic. Or no, it is not part of the MIDSTATE Classic. We have the MIDSTATE Classic. Memphis versus Tennessee. That's at 5:30. Again, more on that game coming up in just a little bit with Chris and Mo. The Grizzlies, they are team at that team Terry Taylor. Chris, I'm not sure what that is. All right, they play 6 o'clock. Check them out on Valley Sports South. And the Predators are in action tonight versus the Penguins. And that is your rundown on this Tuesday.
There we go.
It is Tuesday.
JP clearly has not been listening to the
our
show.
He's typing while we're talking. He doesn't ever get a chance to
That
listen.
team
Apparently.
Terry Taylor plays for. Terry Taylor, the former Austin Peay governor, who
Oh, yeah.
Indiana Pacers coach Rick Carlisle could not recall or refused to mention where he played collegiately. So we're refusing to mention
Where
the
he
Pacers.
plays.
There you go.
Where he plays
Yes.
professionally.
Yeah. Memphis at Indianapolis tonight.
You know,
6
if
o'clock
that
on
had
Valley
been
Sports South.
if that had been in the first 100 games that I mentioned, my mind might have read
Right.
You were a little numb by the end there. Huh?
Dude.
I get it. I get it.
Yep.
If you caught all that, congratulations, folks.
Yeah, hope you had your pen and pad ready.
There you go.
How's the weather out at Ridley Park today?
It's a little windy and
Yeah.
it's
But solid.
it's solid. It's
Okay.
Is it overcast? Is that what you would call it? Or
Yeah,
just
it's
dry?
just cloudy.
So it's a little cool, but
It-
it's doable.
So here's the thing. I actually, when I went home to grab the table that we didn't end up needing and was already in my car the entire time,
Of course. Of course.
I went ahead and grabbed some long sleeves
Mhm.
because at 5:30 tonight it might get a little chilly.
Once
So
the sun goes down,
Well,
it
the sun-
wasn't a wasted trip, but
Yeah.
it very well could have been a wasted trip because we're sitting here in front of the press box here at Ridley Park, and
directly in front of the press box.
I
I mean,
mean-
we could not have asked for a better setup. Shout out to McElregan for getting us hooked up. we are in good shape.
we are in good shape.
I mean,
It's-
to our left later will be Brian Rice, the Tennessee softball person, I guess, their media contact. So I mean, we're in pretty good shape here.
couldn't have asked for better. And,
Directly behind the plate. The only thing we could ask for is that this bar holding up this chain link fence
that's
not
a
be
double.
directly in our line of sight of the scoreboard in center field. Motlow just hit a 2-run triple to make it 8-2 in the top of the
fifth,
top of the fifth. Okay,
which is
all right.
better than the bottom of the fifth. Well, maybe not.
Better than the bottom of the fifth, or better than the bottom of a fifth?
Well, the having the top of a
Oh.
fifth is always good as long as you're planning to get to the bottom of it eventually. That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, let's
Which-
get back to the show.
Let's get back to the show because we have plenty to talk about. A lot of hoops in this first half. We've got the high school hoops, and then we'll talk first four that happens tonight. Of course, we'll talk a little bit about Vanderbilt and Belmont because that's a big game here in the Mid-State. Looking forward to it. Second hour, obviously, we have Thomas Harding, who covers the Rockies for MLB.com, but he's obviously keeping up with the rest of the world as well. And we'll talk about the Braves. Told you we'd do that. Top 5 pies coming at you in the final segment, so stick around. Main Street Sports Today returns after this. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Back into Main Street Sports Today. JP Plant alongside the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and Chris Yao, who are live on location today out at Ridley Park. Fresh back, by the way, gentlemen, from a nice trip to the borough this morning.
It was a nice trip.
It could have been nicer,
Yeah?
Yeah.
but
I'll tell you what could have been nicer was a little bit of forethought to that left-hand turn signal right there at the Blue Raider Market across the street from Murphy Center. I really don't understand how Murfreesboro Police Department hasn't decided maybe we should go run that light.
on a day like today.
Well, during the state tournament,
Mhm.
especially on day one, where you have the most team. Well, I guess there's the same amount of teams every day, except Saturday. But it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense why you wouldn't at least go up there and say, let's make this left-hand turn signal a little bit longer. The problem was people having to pay to park
It's backing things
backs things up.
Mhm.
So it's it's unfortunate, but
Well, if you go in the way you came out, then you make a right-hand turn into the parking lot.
that's the way that's what I'm saying. That's the part that was backed up. So what I did was I went back around the other side and came in and turned left into the parking lot because there was nobody on that side. And when I showed them my pass, they were like, "Oh yeah, come on in." And so people stopped and let me go.
There you go.
But if you don't have a pass like us, then you're kind of waiting.
Yep.
It is what it is.
There you go. Rank has its privilege, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But East Nashville does get the 70-52 win over Summertown this morning. Summertown, played really well to start. And I guess late in the second quarter, it was a 1-point ball game, and then
it got away from
they
turned it over
three
a couple of
balls.
times, and that's kind of what Avery Patton, the East Nashville coach, no relation,
I was going to say that.
mentioned after the game was that they were able to knock down a couple of threes there, and that kind of got their defense up, he said. So and that kind of spurted them away a little bit, and I just think that Summertown kind of gave up a few rebounds.
Missed a couple shots really close.
They only turned it over one more time than East Nashville, but it seemed like East Nashville did a better job capitalizing on the turnovers that they forced than Summertown did. So, 70-52 the final there. 42 of those points scored by Gavin and Grayson Burleson, as we've kind of become used to seeing, particularly down the stretch here.
Yeah, 42 of their first 45. And then the last 7 came late.
with both Grayson and Gavin on the bench.
Yeah. But Jalen Jones, the highly regarded recruit out of East Nashville, the Batman of the duo, apparently. Jalen Jones with a triple-double.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he's the Batman, then that makes Mr. Basketball finalist Gerard Taylor the Robin. And as Robins go, that ain't a bad one.
Yeah, no question.
He finished with 23 points on 9 of 16 shooting from the floor. So.
That's a good day. Jalen Jones with the triple-double, 16 points, 13 boards, 10 assists, and the last one was a thing of beauty to Taylor. And then Taylor flushed a couple late with some emphatic two-hand jams in the fourth quarter.
He's a good-looking ball player, man. Both those guys are going to have some opportunities to play at the next level, and perhaps pretty high up in terms of that level. So looking forward to that. We will have coverage of that game later at mainstreetmurray.com, so be sure and be on the lookout for that.
Yes, there will be a story and a photo gallery available for you. So as soon as we get a chance to get that posted, we hope that you'll check it out.
Currently on the website, by the way, snuck out to Zion Christian last night for their baseball season opener against Hampshire, and pretty triumphant return to the field for their junior Jaron Kaiser, who sustained a pretty significant series of facial injuries in a collision on that very same field last April. Had to underwent an 11-hour surgical procedure to repair broken eye sockets, jaw, etc. Did not play the rest of his sophomore year. Came back last night, went 2 for 3 with a 2-run bomb, threw a couple of innings with 3 strikeouts, and finished up the game at catcher. So on an 11-man roster, that's going to kind of be the case. A lot of folks are going to play a lot of different spots, but we've got an article, we've got a video of the home run, because sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But so check that out again at mainstreetmurray.com as well.
Yeah, it's a really cool story. The fact that he ended up playing a little bit of football last year, and but to see him back on the baseball diamond where he really excels is really awesome. I think he's going to be a story to watch for that Zion Christian team, and it really is just it's a story of perseverance and hard work, and really just wanting to be out there with your classmates.
The young man said that he loves to play, and when he's not playing, he doesn't know what to do.
Well,
so
I guess that's a good reason to play.
There you go. Yeah.
In other action out at Murphy Center, Power Center Academy, which is a charter school in Memphis, gets the win, improves to, I guess, 21-4 on the season with a 40-39 win over Brainerd. Saw a little bit of that one early. The Brainerd uniforms, man, the powder blue with the red pinstripe.
I was talking to Stephen Hargis right before we left, the sports editor at the Chattanooga Times Free Press, who was there covering the game. I told him, those are tight, man. Those are solid. I like that.
Yeah.
I wonder what their home unis look like. I wonder if they're white with pinstripes as well.
I don't know. I just wear those all the time.
I like the pinstripes. Have you seen the South Carolina women?
Yep.
With the pinstripes, which I think they kind of knocked off the Carolina baseball team with that, but still, it's a good look. You don't see it very often in basketball.
Yeah, you really don't. Back in the day, there was a team that was perennially at the Class 2A state championships in Alabama, and I mean, they had baby blue with yellow pinstripes, and it was awful.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all.
The red solid. But they fall, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we won't see those anymore this year.
No, we'll not see them anymore this year's Power Center. The charter school gets the win. They will take on East Nashville. Pretty tight ball game. Power Center got up in the first quarter 13-7, and then Brainerd powers back to take a lead. They're down a point at halftime.
Okay.
17-12. They outscored Power Center in the second quarter, but then the third and fourth quarters were, let's just say, defense laden. 7. So
15 points
Brainerd scored 15. Power Center scores 15, but neither scored double digits in any quarter. So
goodness gracious, that had to be fun to watch. Yeah.
Guess it depends on your definition of fun.
And that East Nashville Power Center game will be at 4:00 on Thursday, not 4:30, as we talked about during our segment with Chip Walters yesterday, because all of the start times on Thursday have been moved 30 minutes earlier to accommodate for the Middle Tennessee State Lady Raiders.
So
it was supposed to be 4:30. So
listen, man, they had the game scheduled an hour and 15 minutes apart, like we were going to be able to get ball games in an hour. I think they figured out that they're not going to be able to get ball games in an hour 15 and instead of an hour 30. So they this is a secondary.
I'm done. I'm done. Anyway, MTSU and Wofford play in the opening round of the WNIT at 8:00 tonight, Thursday night at Murphy Center. So that's why the game times have been changed on Thursday night
to whatever time they are. Just get there at 9:30, and you'll be able to and stay all day.
There you go. And whenever the game starts, you'll be there. Yeah.
That's the best way to do it anyway, because these game times are there. There's the squiggly line about. So
APP approximately. Yeah. 345 plus / minus,
There we go. Oh man, let's
whenever it starts, it starts.
Yeah, let's take a break. I know we're a little early, but I'm give out on this one. Let's talk about the first four on the other side, because there are a couple of really intriguing matchups tonight, including both of the 11-11 matchup.
So
and
is it both the
12-12.
11? There's an 11-11 and a 12-12
Yeah.
tonight, and then both 16s are tomorrow? Is that?
I'm not sure if that's how it works out, but I do know that there's
Well, there are two 16s and then two
right.
9s.
I just don't know which is on the schedule, but the first four, we'll talk about all of them today, because I really don't care to spend an extra 15 minutes on them tomorrow. So let's go do that. We'll be back on Main Street Sports today. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org, or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Welcome back to Ridley Park here on location in Columbia. Oh, hey, what we got here? Looks like both runners scored. We got an out at home plate, and then both runners scored on an error. That makes it 10-4, it appears. Oh, we may have obstruction here at the plate. They may have scored 3.
They may have scored 3 because she tagged her way up the line. But if there's a rule like there is in Major League Baseball where you've got to,
rule.
So she didn't give her anywhere to go then.
That's
so
correct.
Wow. That's tough.
It looks like 3 runs will score here for Columbia State as they will cut into the lead and make it 10-5.
Jeez.
And there will only be one out in the inning. So Lady Chargers looking to get back in it after giving up 6 in the top of the 5th. They've scored 3 of their own here in the bottom half. And we are talking about the first 4. Got a couple of questions. One, how do you feel about the first 4 in general?
I have an issue with the first 4 involving teams that are not. I have a problem with the first 4 involving teams that aren't 16 seeds. I mean, if you're good enough to be an 11 or a 12 seed, then you should be in the bracket, I think. I kind of get the explanation that those are some of the final teams in because they're getting in as at larges and that kind of thing, and I understand that. But, I mean, if you're seeding the field, a 12 seed shouldn't have to play in, I don't think. But I get why they do it. I just don't agree with it.
I'm the exact opposite. If we are if you win your conference tournament, you should be in the tournament. You should not have to play in. So no 16 teams should have to play into the tournament.
Because they're all
I think-
conference champions.
I think they all should be 11-11 or 12-12 play-ins. That's the way that I see it. Because look,
Well, you are in the tournament.
you're not necessarily. You go to Dayton. Come on, man. You don't get.
Have you been to Dayton?
I'm
What's
not.
wrong with Dayton?
Nothing.
What you
But
got against Dayton?
the fact that that's where the first four is, to me, that's not the tournament. It is, but it's not. Let these guys get a chance to play and upset one of these big time schools, even if they are all 16s. Move them all up. Put them all in at 16s if that's what you think they are,
Mhm.
and then go from there. Give me.
I can see that. I can see if you are an AQ, you should automatically. Okay.
So that's that. But I also can
So
understand.
maybe those final at larges should not be 11-12s. Maybe they should be 16s, and maybe an AQ should be
move everybody
higher.
up. So with Wyoming and Indiana,
And that
play for
would-
the 16.
And that would create a little bit more angst for some of these
one
ones.
seeds. Well, they would not be happy. They would not be happy.
Yeah, I think I would feel better about that. But yeah, I see what you're saying. If you're an AQ, you shouldn't have to play in. I can accept that
Play in.
concept.
Don't
Yeah.
get mad at us if we call it that, but that's what it is. I mean, 60 teams aren't getting a bye. It's not how it works. So,
Right.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, tonight we have Texas Southern and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. There's a 6:40 Eastern, so I guess 5:40 Central on True TV. Of course, it is in Dayton. All four of these games will be in Dayton.
Mhm.
Texas Southern no longer coached by
Mike Davis.
Mike Davis, but
Where is he? Is he coaching anywhere?
I have no idea. But look, this morning Sarah filled out her bracket via which mascot was cooler.
Mm-mm.
I assume that she would probably pick Texas A&M Corpus Christi, the Islanders.
I think an Islander is cooler than a Tiger,
It's more unique.
but I think an Islander. I think an Islander's chances against a Tiger are going to be pretty, unless you're pretty crafty.
Well, you know,
My money's on the Tiger there.
Those Islanders, they can hide and get you with the spear from the backside. You never know.
Dig one of those pits with the spears
And
at the
you're-
bottom.
you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be a 16 game. Not sure what to expect from it, but I think it's going to be a good game. The 12-12 game, Indiana, which barely got in, I guess the Big Ten tournament counts. I'm not sure if any of the others do, but apparently the Big Ten tournament matters.
Did they actually get 10 in?
Oh.
I've been a little busy. I've not really been able to analyze. Oh,
Did we get a home run?
2-run jack for the Lady
A
Chargers.
2-run homer.
It's 10-7.
Watch out. Here come the Chargers charging quickly. That's 5 of the 6 that they gave
That
up
they
in the
just gave
top.
up.
Though.
There you go. Wow.
So look at
Yeah.
there.
Um,
That wasn't supposed to happen.
as I was saying, I've not really had a chance to analyze the bracket like I would like to, but I thought I saw somewhere that 10 Big Ten teams got into the field of 68.
Well,
And I know the SEC got 6 teams in.
They got all 6 of their teams were top 6 seeds.
Yeah, LSU with the number 6 seed was the worst seed.
Nobody.
Tennessee was the worst seeded, but LSU was the worst seed at 6, I think.
So, and that's, to me, as we've said all year long, this is the deepest conference. This is arguably the best conference overall. And yet, once again, the Big Ten gets Indiana into a play-in
At
game
17 and 12, is that what they are?
instead of Texas
Texas
A&M.
A&M.
So,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to matter, though, because I think Wyoming, who I have making a significantly deep run,
Mhm.
I think they're going to get a chance to knock the Hoosiers out and deal the first blow to the Big Ten, the first of what I expect to be many.
My feelings would not be hurt if you're right.
Well, here's the problem: is tomorrow the 11-11 matchup is Rutgers in the Big Ten against Notre Dame. So
who do we root for?
it's like that's a catch-22.
That really is.
It's the last game. Can the building just collapse or something, and they don't play it? And
Stranger things have happened. Let me refer you to the Georgia Dome in 2008. Yeah.
But that Rutgers Notre Dame game at 8:10 on True TV follows Wright State and Bryant. I'm hoping Bryant brings their student section. That should.
I'm hoping Bryant's coach wears his jersey.
that's
Was it Wagner? Oh, well, never mind. No, maybe
Yes.
Bryant's coach will take up that tradition.
the Bryant Bulldogs and the Wright State Raiders.
Wright State is in Ohio, isn't it?
You know what? I think it is.
I don't know if it's in. I don't know where in Ohio, but that's.
So I'm curious if this. I'm curious if this game will get finished without incident. I assume they won't be sitting the student sections next to one another,
or directly behind anybody's bench,
or behind anyone's bench, probably. So, and the winner of that, I'm not sure who the winner of that one gets. I think it's Kansas.
That
I
sounds
think
right.
Kansas gets the winner of that one, and then Rutgers Notre Dame, the 11 seed. I think that's a game that could be intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
But these 11-11 games are almost like the 8-9 games.
Yeah. I mean, well, clearly, I mean, they're pretty evenly matched. They're both the same seed,
according to the
selection committee, which take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. So I think that's,
Tennessee, number 5 in the AP poll, number 3 in the seeds.
Which means they are at best, the number 9 team.
At best.
And probably not the number 9 team. They're probably 10 because Wisconsin was ahead of them, according to
at ESPN.
Well, no, according to the chair of the committee.
Oh, that dude. Yeah.
Who, when asked why Tennessee wasn't a 2, compared them to Wisconsin, who is also a 3. So go figure.
Anyway. They didn't get their talking points squared away very well, I don't think. It's interesting. Rick Barnes, in his press conference yesterday, said that the media should be able to have a press conference with the selection committee on Monday after all the smoke is cleared and everybody's had a chance to really digest what has taken place and ask questions, and not just 2 or 3 minutes, but at length about some of the, discrepancies, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah, just give me an explanation.
Yeah.
Even if it's bad, I'm not going to like it, and I still don't like the explanation.
Well, and it's not going to change anything.
It's not changing nothing.
But I think an explanation, a coherent explanation, is due for why you've got 3 teams from the same conference. One team beat each of those other 2 teams, beat one of them twice, and is seated behind them.
Go figure. But a level of accountability. That's all we're asking for. And right now there is no accountability whatsoever for anybody but coaches and players.
Not for officials and not for selection committees.
I mean, the college football playoff selection committee chair comes out and has a pretty at-length discussion with ESPN after the announcement. I mean, it's a good 30 minutes. I'll take that. It's better than what we're getting with basketball.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the women's first 4, Incarnate Word and Howard playing in Columbia for the right to get beat by the eventual national champion South Carolina Lady Gamecocks.
That's interesting the way they do that. I guess it cuts down on travel.
Yeah.
Because you don't go to a central site and then have to go somewhere else. But it will be interesting to see how Incarnate Word and Howard is attended in Columbia, South Carolina.
Well, you never know. I mean, where's Howard?
Howard's in Washington, D.C.
That's right.
Incarnate Word is somewhere in Texas.
Yeah, they're out west. Dayton and DePaul. That's tomorrow night in the 11-11 matchup in Ames, Iowa. Imagine Dayton in the first four. Go figure.
I always wondered what would happen if Dayton made the first four on the guy's side. Yeah,
they would probably work around that one. I have a feeling. Oh, I don't think that's got the distance, Mo. And then on Thursday, Longwood, the Lady Lancers. The Longwood Lady Lancers. I'm here for that, by the way. Taking on Mount St. Mary's in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's a 6 o'clock tip. And then Missouri State and Florida State will play in the Bears.
The Bears.
And the Lady Seminoles.
And where are they playing?
They're in Baton Rouge.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
And that's
so Longwood's men and women are both in.
Longwood's men and women are both in the tournament. Well done. Yeah. So that's your first four matchups on both the men's and women's side. I don't know. Did you see the swag bags?
I did not see the swag bags. Have they come up?
They have, and we need to talk about it. That one's not going to be obstruction. That's not going to be obstruction. But they did score a run right there before that. So
they did.
They
so
got the sixth one back. It's 10-8 going to the sixth. Thought we had a blowout incoming, and Chargers say not so fast.
Not so fast, my friend. Yeah.
It's time for halftime, y'all. Stick around. Main Street Sports Today returns after this.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
All right, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the big debate across social media with the youngsters these days, but apparently there is some sort of debate, and I'm not sure why. What are there more of in the world, doors or wheels?
I saw this on James Corden one night last week, and
I mean, it's wheels, right?
I think it is wheels. My initial thought was doors, but then when you start to think about where wheels are, they're not just on vehicles. They're on desk chairs. They're on, roller skates. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's got to be wheels at this point.
That does seem like the logical choice, Mo. Yeah.
Well, one of the
It's
things
also
that I
presented as a kind of a trick question.
Well, I mean, when you think of doors, I mean, you think of buildings, you think of houses and that kind of thing. And I mean, if I started counting the number of doors in my house, I mean,
there's a lot more than you got wheels on it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think when you consider all of the different things that have wheels on them, wheelbarrows,
doors on that. Bicycles. There are 1 billion bicycles in the world. 1 billion.
Billion?
Bicycles. 0 doors.
So that's 2 billion wheels, right?
Well, 2 billion wheels and no doors. So
0 doors.
That's a lot. And then there are, I think someone said there were like 10 million motorcycles or something like that.
No doors.
No doors. So I saw a guy
golf carts
who opened up like to his warehouse where they push furniture across the floor and it's nothing but wheels and there's probably 150.
So they're pushing them into the warehouse?
Into the warehouse over wheels.
Nice.
So I'm going team wheels.
Yeah, I think I'm team wheels as well. After upon further review.
Do we know the answer?
No, no one counted.
No, we are putting you in charge of actually coming up with an answer, JP.
I'll get back with you in the second half.
Yeah, do that.
I bet you will.
Who gets back with us first? JP on Wheels or Doors, or Wes Long on how long
The court is.
the court is at Summertown?
Did you ask him about it?
I did not.
You did not.
I did not feel like that was the time.
Maybe not the
or
time.
the place.
Maybe not the time.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a phenomenal second half we've got coming up. So let's get to it. We're going to talk a lot of Braves.
Rip that Band-Aid off, guys. Rip that Band-Aid off.
There's no Band-Aid. After what we learned on the way back from Murfreesboro, I'm happy.
I'm good.
I'm happy.
I was really pretty good yesterday. Again, the only concern I will have is what he gets wherever he goes, which it's kind of telling to me that he still hasn't signed yet. So yeah, but yeah, I'm good. We still got a World Series championship to defend. Let's go defend it.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go, Matty-O. We'll talk about it on the other side of halftime here on Main Street Sports Today. Stick around.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
It's the second half of Main Street Sports Today. Coming up, we'll be joined by Thomas Harding of MLB.com. Talk a little baseball, including the Braves, the big trade, the news of yesterday. What's next for Freddie Freeman? How does all of those dominoes fit into the world champs and their upcoming season? Plus, it's Top 5 Tuesday pies. That's right. Stay with us here on Main Street Sports Today. Now live to Ridley Park with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yak.
That's right, live here on location at Ridley Park, where Motlow State and Columbia State are playing the first of a doubleheader prior to the Mid-State Classic main event featuring the Memphis Lady Tigers and the Tennessee Lady Vols. It's a 5:30 first pitch scheduled time. I think we might get that in as long as there's not any more 11-8. It's 11-8 right now. Motlow with the lead. Yesterday we were hit pretty late with the news of the Atlanta Braves trading away 4 of their top 14 prospects to the Oakland Athletics in exchange for all-star first baseman Matt Olson, an Atlanta native, and apparently an Atlanta resident as of August last year. My first thought was this is a good replacement for Freddie Freeman, but I'm not sure the give up was really worth it. I'm still not entirely convinced because right now the Braves have a 34-year-old catcher and a iffy at the plate backup. Christian Pache, great defender, had not found his way at the plate just yet, and found himself back in AAA last year for most of the season. A couple of pitchers who were in that deal. Of course, the Braves drafted like 37 pitchers in 2 years, it felt like.
That's pretty much their MO. I mean, they
draft all the arms.
They throw a lot of pitchers against the wall and hope that some will stick. And it's worked out for them over the last 30 years or so between guys that they've actually gotten all the way up, and guys that they have eventually traded for other folks. So, I mean, it's been a sound approach. And it was interesting. A couple of years ago, listening to some draft analysis, Alex Rodriguez, of all people, made the comment, high school arms and college bats. And I thought,
Makes sense.
much as I hate to admit it, it makes sense. Yeah. So, and that's kind of been the Braves' approach for the most part. There's been some exceptions. Spencer Strider, the kid from the Knoxville high school ranks who pitched at Clemson, got up quickly and made some postseason appearances for him this past year. But for the most part, that's been a formula that has worked for Atlanta. You talk about too much, and again,
That's a drive. Deep left field. Short.
Good job, Chip. Watch the outfielders. Giving up Shea Langoliers kind of hurt. But if you're getting a guy who's going into his age 28 season, coming off a year where he's hit 39 home runs and driven in 111 runs, I think you realize that you're going to have to give something up.
Right. And I don't know if you saw his spray chart from last year, but he had about 20 doubles that would have been home runs at the Chop House. So that 39 may end up being 50.
And he's a left-handed hitter, much like the guy he'll be replacing.
Yep.
Hit 22 home runs off left-handed pitching,
which is the most since
Stan Musial in 1949.
49. Yeah.
So
we'll take that.
So make of that what you will.
And
it's funny to me the number of people who either aren't educated or have drank the Freddie Freeman Kool-Aid to the point that they feel like Matt Olson is a step down. It's a lateral move at best. You have to realize that
at worst.
Well, yeah, at worst, it's a lateral move. Freddie hit 31 home runs and drove in 83 runs last year.
That was
now he was hitting in the number 2 hole.
That's true.
But still, 30, home runs are home runs. And he hit 8 fewer home runs than this guy. He drove in 28 fewer runs than this guy. And he's how much older? 4 years old.
Here's the only thing that I will say about that. The AL West is not the NL East, and the AL West and the AL NL West is not the AL West that we had to play against twice. So competition matters, but not to the point that I think it matters this much. I think Matt Olson
I don't think Matt Olson is garbage.
Matt Olson signed for $168 million, and we got him for 8 years. So we paid less money and got 2 extra years on top of what Freddie wanted.
Supposedly.
I think the 180 number was pretty solid up at the beginning of December. So I feel like you've got to say one we've saved $10 million annually. All right. What can we do with that $10 million?
And that's a great question. And I think it's a very concerning situation, almost. Will they spend that money, or will Liberty Media just say, we'll take that?
Good for us.
Yeah. 10 million less we have to spend.
I don't think that's the case. Alex Anthopoulos has made it pretty clear that he wants to go get another outfielder, and among those,
he's got a few to choose from, some of which were recently in Braves uniforms.
So Jorge Soler, Eddie Rosario, and it sounds like Conforto are the 3, and Jock Peterson is also in there, but I don't think he's going to end up being the guy. But Conforto, Rosario, and Soler would be among the 3 that.
And maybe this is my anti-Mets bias showing up, but what's the fascination with Conforto?
I think it's a
Is he a center fielder?
yes, but I think it's more he fits the Alex Anthopoulos model of free agents. And that being said, Eddie Rosario played outside of his mind for half a season.
But did he?
No, I'm just saying
did he play out of his mind, or did he just play like like a healthy Eddie Rosario?
Right. That's what I'm thinking. I think we got Eddie Rosario's best performance, but also it's what you can expect over time. That's what he's done when he was healthy.
Right.
So I am personally for re-signing Eddie Rosario.
If it's either Rosario or Soler, because I got to tell you, that ball that still hasn't come down in Houston kind of leaves a mark.
It absolutely does.
I mean, World Series hero Jorge Soler.
It's hard to let, but we don't get to the World Series without NLCS MVP Eddie Rosario.
Yeah.
14 hits.
Yeah.
So thank you for the dings. But I mean, so anyway, I'm not sure what I think the reason Freddie hasn't signed is because now get all the money you can get. Right? Because there's no reason not to at this point.
You're not going to be in Atlanta, so you might as well.
There's no
get
reason.
The big payday.
Yeah, get the payday that you can get and go to the house.
But I mean, it's a tough looking situation for Freddie at this point, I think, because apparently the Braves just said, you know what, this isn't going to work. We're moving on.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that left a bad taste in his mouth. And
maybe not. Maybe they just said, look, we need a decision by this time, and if not, we're gonna try. We're still gonna work with you until we get a replacement. But once we get a replacement,
it's just hard for me to believe that he hasn't done anything to this point. And Yankees, Dodgers, Blue Jays. I mean, who all is Red Sox? I kind of hope at this point that he goes to the American League, to be honest. Although I guess with interleague play, it doesn't really matter.
In 2 years, you're going to play every team at least once.
Mm-hmm. So,
there's that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just, I feel like this is a move in a positive direction for the Braves. You get a young guy who wants to be there for at least the next 8 years with
Atlanta native again.
Atlanta native. The Braves have always done well with natives of Atlanta for whatever reason.
Unless they decide to trade them off, Jason Hayward.
And with that, I feel really good about the next 5 years of this organization. We're in a window.
Absolutely.
Let's take advantage.
Looking at you, J-Rob.
Well, he's trying. He's trying. Let's get out of here. Take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to MLB.com's Thomas Harding. I want to say Hayward for some reason, and I don't know why.
It's on the run of show, but
well, I didn't have it pulled up. Well, Thomas Harding.
Thomas Harding at Harding _@ MLB on Twitter, by the way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that, and then we'll have our top 5 pies later this half. So stick around. We'll be back after this. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Main Street Today with Devin O'Day is your half-hour coffee break featuring lifestyle, inspiration, and entertainment news. Main Street Today airs live weekdays at 11 a.m. Central, or you can catch it on demand on all of our Main Street Media social platforms, including highlights on Instagram at Main Street Today Radio. Take your daily coffee break with Devin O'Day on Main Street Today, weekdays at 11, right here on all our Main Street Media social platforms. Now, back live to Ridley Park with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back. We are live on location. It is 12-8 here. Motlow State with the lead in the bottom of the seventh. 1 on and no outs here for the Lady Chargers of Columbia State. So looking for 5 runs.
Or none.
Or none.
Or none.
Let's get on to the next ball game.
Yeah.
That's the media in us talking right there. No fandom here. No cheering. No cheering in the press box, and no cheering in front of the press box either.
Oh, she hurt?
It appears.
Clearly.
So, yeah.
How?
We have a injured Charger on the field, dove back into first on a pickoff attempt, and was unable to get up and make her way to second base where she would have easily been standing. Nonetheless, we move into our guest segment here. And I guess since we don't have Stevie Wonder queued up, we'll just say,
let's just say
happy birthday to our guest, Thomas Harding of MLB.com. What's going on, man?
Oh, man, I'm just a man doing the best I can, sitting outside the Top River Fields at Talking Stick. It's close to 90 degrees in Arizona. Happy to be here. Happy to actually have baseball with Major League people doing it.
with Major League people doing it being the key there. 90 degrees in Arizona, huh?
Yeah, very close to 90. It's a wonderful afternoon. I got all my interviews, and I could be sitting in a press room typing out a story, and I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like it. So I'm actually just sitting in front of the ballpark, leaning and watching people.
There you go. There you go.
People watching is always fun.
Stay hydrated. Thomas, obviously, Chris and I are huge Braves fans, and we are kind of watching the situation out of Atlanta with the Matt Olson trade and now the Matt Olson contract and that kind of thing. And, you know, from a distance, what are you hearing with regard to what's next for Freddie Freeman? Because clearly there's no place in Atlanta for him at this point.
Yeah, it seems like the Dodgers are somewhere between an odds-on favorite and a foregone conclusion. And I haven't kept up with that situation beyond that. I saw a headline that Tampa Bay was actually interested in him. I just don't see Tampa Bay doing that type of contract. In fact, the Matt Olson contract with the Braves, that was very much a Tampa Bay contract like they did with their young star player. You know, it's a long contract, nowhere near the dollars that Freddie Freeman was expected to get. the Braves really don't like to have too much of their future tied up in long contracts. So if they aren't winning at some point, you would expect them to be traded for a number of different parts. If they are winning, you're talking about one of the young stars of the game. So you see how the Braves are positioning themselves, but certainly if you're a Braves fan, you're very disappointed because Freddie Freeman not wearing a Braves uniform is really hard to take.
Thomas, it's disappointing because you kind of felt like he would be here forever, to be honest. But you know, the way this thing has gone down, it's almost like, and to a degree, if he's frustrated with the situation, I can kind of get it because shame on the Braves for not getting this done last year. And they probably should have gotten this done last offseason and didn't. And Freddie having to go through this year knowing this was going to be his free agent year, probably a little frustration there, and I can get that. But, you know, at some point, either you got to swallow that and say, okay, how can we make this work for me to stay, or do whatever it is that he did.
Well, I think when you look at the years and the dollars with Matt Olson, I think where the Braves are as a franchise, it's really strange. It's almost like I think the Braves ended up winning a World Series because of the way they operate, but losing Freddie Freeman is probably part of the way the Braves are going to operate. I don't think a veteran contract of a guy well into his 30s with maybe, you know, more money than you would expect, and you would expect the end of that contract not to be very good. I think the Braves ended up doing what we've seen them do in recent years. If you recall, a few years back, like they bring in Josh Donaldson, they don't keep him long term. There are all these rumors about different guys that to bring in, but once it gets to the length of a contract and the age of the guy in the contract, suddenly the Braves drop out of it. So some of what made the Braves special now is the way they operate, and I'm not sure that a Freddie Freeman contract, as much as he is an Atlanta Braves, I'm not sure that fits the way they operate. And you see teams, they run into problems where instead of operating the way that they are successful, they go away from it to hold on to a popular player. So I'm not going to say it's the right move. I'm not going to say it's the wrong move. I am going to say that Freddie Freeman not with the Atlanta Braves is kind of tough to take, but very few guys stay with one team their whole career anyway.
You're right. Thomas Harding of MLB.com with us here as we just witnessed a 3-run Columbia State home run to make it a 12-8 game, 1 out. 12-11 game with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. So,
wait a minute. A second ago, you guys were wishing for the end of this game, and now you have a nail biter there.
Now we have a nail biter. Yeah, it probably is our fault.
Is Columbia at home?
Yes, they are the home team.
Okay.
So
you mean I could be witnessing a walk-off?
You could be witnessing.
Wasn't going to happen.
You could. I hope you're witnessing a walk-off, because otherwise you're witnessing extra innings, and no one wants that. But
okay. Well, and one other question for me is the young player that was injured on the dive back to second base. Did she stay in the ball game?
She did stay in the ball game and scored. So yeah, so all is good. All is good.
Okay, good. All right, good. Yeah, I don't want to be on here witnessing an injury, so I'd rather witness a walk-off than an injury.
T, you cover the Colorado Rockies for MLB.com, an NL West team. So you've got a little bit more familiarity with the Dodgers probably on a day-to-day basis than we do. You mentioned that Freeman to the Dodgers is somewhere between the odds-on favorite and a foregone conclusion. What does that team look like with Freddie Freeman? They just feel like a fantasy team with all the players that they're collecting.
Yeah, it's almost, and had they not won the World Series in a shortened season, it would even be funnier to watch. Remember when the Braves had that, I think it was the Tools race where it was the wrench, and every day they tried to find a different way for the wrench to lose? That's what the Dodgers have felt like, is that no matter who they get, no matter how much star power they bring in, they can't seem to get it done in the end. So yes, the Dodgers would look a bit like a fantasy team. I mean, But, first base has been an issue with them, and with Max Muncy coming off of an injury and the fact that he can play second base, he could, as long as or he could be a designated hitter now in the National League, then you could see where he fits in the lineup. Do the Dodgers get it done? I mean, it seems like for so many years, and I've been fascinated by this, by the way. I started covering the Rockies in 2000. I've been around the game a long, long, long time. And they went from 1988 to the shortened 2020 season without a World Series champion. And I could pick probably 10, 12 years that talent-wise they were the favorite. So can they bring in Freddie Freeman? And then if they do, will they get it done or will they invent a new way not to get it done?
That's a heck of a question, and I love.
We sure hope it's the latter.
I love the way you phrased it, but yeah, we do hope it's the latter because
it's a first thrill watching that team. It really is, and it's funny because in this division, and I had this conversation with other folks. The best thing for the Rockies, who are a lower than mid-market team, really, as far as the TV market, best thing for them would be some sort of expansion that gets them out of the Dodgers division, because no matter what, they will never be able to compete free agent wise. I mean, I think that like a St. Louis Cardinals, they can, the Milwaukee Brewers, for example, I think they have a better chance of sustaining winning being in the Central, even though the Cubs are there, but the Cubs don't sustain the way the Dodgers do. The Cardinals are very good, but they spend, but they don't spend crazily. The Dodgers can spend crazily. But yeah, the Dodgers last year was the first year after an 8-year run of division titles, and the Giants ended up beating them, and the Dodgers knocked them off in the playoffs. So everybody's afraid of the Dodgers out here, but you don't see a lot of World Series pennants, and I just find it one of the more interesting things to watch in this league.
I just thought it was funny, when they trade for Trey Turner last year, and this guy's an all-star shortstop, and you put him in at second base where he's rarely played, if ever. I mean, you're just collecting guys and putting square pegs in round holes defensively and that kind of thing. It's Dave Roberts has caught a lot of heat over the last couple of years, but it would be interesting to see what he could do with a logically constructed roster.
Yeah, I think that's why Turner's moving to shortstop. I look at a couple of things. You look at the Dodgers in 2018. That was the year that the Rockies actually took them to game 163. They went out and collected all kind of parts. I mean, I almost don't remember their names, but there were so many of them. And there was that whole thing where people were praising them. They called it a hockey team. You had shifts. You had some guys begin the game, some guys finish the game. Guess what? They blew their lead, and had the Rockies not lost a game at home to the Nationals, the Rockies would have won that division. I think they're a little bit more careful of that. The other team that reminds me of was, I think it was 2017, the New York Yankees in the National League Championship Series. DJ LeMahieu, one of the best second basemen of our era, dropped the pop-up while playing first base. The most important games of the year, a lot of these modern teams that underrate the defense, sometimes they have players in positions they don't play or players in their second best position, and it costs them defensively. So, yeah, the Dodgers look like they're going to rectify that problem by letting Corey Seager go and moving Trey Turner to shortstop, but you're right. Now, if they get Freddie Freeman in, a real first baseman, a real slugger in the lineup, it's more traditionally constructed.
Thomas, it's the National League has kind of gone bonkers because of what the Dodgers have been able to do with their lineup, and now the Mets are kind of spin. The Nationals look to be in spending mode. The Phillies were when they went and got Bryce Harper. The National League East as a whole it's
an arms race.
Well, except for the Braves, who are doing it their way and are winning.
Yes.
Is that something that is going to happen out west at any time, at any point in the near future, or are the Dodgers just kind of the ones who are going to spend all the money?
No, actually, the Giants do have the opportunity to do it, they don't spend as consistently as the Dodgers. Sometimes they do take a small step back in spending. They've done that in recent years. But when they are close, like if you looked at last year, they're going out and trading for Chris Bryant. They will make the move that will make all the difference to get there if they are close. So really, it's the Dodgers and the Giants are the two big money teams out here, and the rest of the teams are now the Padres. They got a television deal. They won the regional sports network bubble. They and the Diamondbacks actually got television deals in the billions, and the Rockies take a lot of heat because they let DJ LeMahieu sign up. Where they traded away Nolan Arenado. They let Trevor Story go free agent, and they're not bringing him back. But in the last 10 years, the Rockies have been in the playoffs twice. The Diamondbacks and the Padres have only been once. So everybody's trying to find a way to get there. I don't think you're ever going to have, at least the Rockies and the Diamondbacks, I don't think they're going to spend with the Dodgers. The Padres will try, but it seems like no matter what they try, it falls. They get a lot of off-season publicity, and it falls apart. So, yeah, it's a tough division to win in because of the Dodgers. And then when the Giants are close, they make a lot of good decisions. And it doesn't seem to matter who their general manager is. They really make a lot of good decisions.
It's funny you said that because we are quasi Padres fans here because of one Ryan Weathers, who is from Lawrence County here, just inside of our coverage area, and their number one pick, the number 7 pick in the draft a couple of years ago, Robert Hassel III, who has moved up quickly in the minor league ranks. So we're quasi Padres fans out here. But how crazy was the Fernando Tatis story? He's now out for 3 months, and potentially because he wrecked his motorcycle multiple times. That's wild, right?
Yeah, you need to stay off the motorcycle, but also could the Padres have made some moves had there not been a lockout? I mean, it's hard for me to believe that the Padres didn't know about this, that there was the rule during the lockout that teams and players could not have contact. It's just hard for me to believe that, they show up for physicals and then he shows up with a broken wrist. Oh, guys, by the way, this happened in the offseason. And also you look at the Padres, Will Myers, Eric Hosmer, there's stories about them being on the trading block. This is actually the second time under A.J. Preller that they've gotten into an arms race for salaries, then gotten into a mode of getting rid of these guys. It is a totally strange situation. But, so your Padres fans there, I understand Ryan Weathers there. How about the Rockies and Jordan Sheffield here? So you guys have a reason to watch the team I watch a lot. So there you go.
We are, honestly, we're just fans of anybody out there except the Dodgers. That's all I'm saying. So, anybody but the Dodgers. But Thomas, man, we appreciate it. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the only thing I'm kind of, spring training is a wonderful time. Although, as a reporter, you write so much, and every now and then you take a step back and say, I'm writing this stuff, but if they go undefeated, untied, and unscored upon, I'm going to write that it doesn't matter. Yet I'm writing all day. However, the only thing that's causing any stress this spring is this accelerated free agency period, which opened Thursday with the signing of the CBA. And the Rockies have been linked. I think the stats are every 8.7 minutes to Chris Bryant, but there's also Kyle Schwarber and Michael Conforto out there as possibles for the Rockies. So there's a lot going on right now in free agency, and in a way, this makes baseball kind of like the NFL and the NBA and even the NHL, in that you have those free agency periods where a lot of news happens, and that's not all bad.
No, it's certainly not for you, man. It's certainly not for you. I'm excited that we are getting at least some sort of free agency period with spring training, and opening day coming up on April 7th. Should be a lot of fun. Thanks for taking some time with us. We appreciate you, and happy birthday.
Thank you, but here's the biggest question of all that I have to ask. What was the final there?
The final was 12-11. Columbia State left the tying run on base, right?
They sure did. Left the tying run on base.
Columbia State leaving.
Yeah.
So, and who are they playing again?
They were playing Motlow State out of, MIT, Motlow in Tullahoma.
Yeah. That's right. Well, I'll tell you what, that sounded like a thriller, and hopefully your audience is as thrilled by that as they are about Matt Olson at this point.
Absolutely.
I certainly am. Thomas, man, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, when we come back, we will continue watching the legend of dirt, Bill Marbett, go in circles here.
We might need to turn the camera around for that.
We might need to turn the camera around. We'll give you our top 5 pies. Top 5 pies coming at you right after this on Main Street Sports Today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
It is March 15th, Ides of March Day, but yesterday was Pie Day.
National Pie Day.
3/14.
14. There you go.
And so in honor of National Pie Day, we will tell you what our top 5 pies are. As you can see, the legend of dirt, Bill Marbett, going in circles here.
Looking good.
Yeah, man, this is good stuff. The Memphis softball team making their rounds with some posters, signing autographs, and pretty impressive stuff here, as it appears the Tennessee media group is making their way into the press area here in front of the press box. So, JP, I don't know how many pies you got, but I got 5, and I am excited because we get to do Top 5 Tuesday presented by Mid-South 5 Fitness. Thal is still in the gang over at Mid-South 5 Fitness, doing a great job as always, keeping you in shape and helping you reach your fitness goals. That is the best way to put it. Go see them. Still Athletes at Still Athletes on Instagram, stillathletes.com. That's Thal Still and Mid-South 5 Fitness. 2 great locations, one in Franklin, one in Columbia. All right. Here we go. I don't have any honorable mentions, but so we'll start with number 5. And I'll go first because I want to tell this story and I want to get it out of the way as quickly as possible. I used to go eat lunch with this group of old men, and there was one guy who was real ornery all the time. And
there's
so
always
is that why we stopped going to lunch?
No. I wish the entertainment factor here was phenomenal, and I really enjoyed this because he would always give the servers a little bit of a hard time. And one day he ordered an apple pie. That's my number 5 is apple pie. And he says, "Don't forget." And she says, "I know. Put it in the microwave for 15 seconds." And he said, "You got it." And she said, "Would you like that a la mode?" And he said, "Hell no, I don't want no damn ice cream either."
No cheese? You ever put cheese on your apple pie?
So my apple pie, yes, I have, as a matter of fact, but mine has to be a la mode.
Okay.
I want it a la mode. I am not like Mr. Kenneth, the ornery old man who said he didn't want it a la mode or with ice cream.
Why would you not want your apple pie with ice cream?
Buddy, I don't know. You have to ask Kenneth.
Because my number 5 is also apple pie.
How American are both of you?
With all the ice cream.
All of it. Give me the bucket of ice cream with an apple pie.
Extra a la mode.
Yeah. Give me some apple pie with my ice cream.
That's
please.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. JP, what's your number 5?
All right, I've got a tie for 5. Okay, it's a way to get in kind of I guess a bonus one, but one is peach and blackberry crisp. Okay, Peach and blackberry.
blackberry
Peach and
crisp.
blackberry? Is that like
Yes.
two separate ones, or is that combined?
No, it's all together. Peach
Oh.
and blackberries together.
Okay. All right,
And then
what's your other
the second at tied at number 5 is a bourbon bread pudding.
one? That's not pie. It's bread
not pie.
pudding.
It's not cake.
It's true. It's not cake, but it is a dessert of some sort.
It is definitely a dessert of some sort, and if it doesn't have raisins in it, count me in.
Okay.
Now, if it does,
Who was?
I'm
Did,
good.
did y'all see the crazy lady that put raisins in like her mac and cheese or something on the internet?
no, I did
haven't seen
not. Oh,
Anyway,
mm.
number 4
Mhm.
for me is buttermilk.
Buttermilk pie.
Buttermilk pie.
Buttermilk pie?
Give me the buttermilk pie all day, every day.
My number 4 is caramel pie.
Ooh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Not on my list. That's a good.
Yep.
Sweet and
Yep.
sweet.
I need it. I need the sweet.
Number 4, heading south, young man, key lime pie.
That's a good choice.
That is a good
Key lime
choice.
pie, a little tropical vibe.
Yep.
Your toes, get sand between your toes.
Yeah, there you go. Get
Yeah,
get that
sliced lime pie.
get that feeling anyway. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah,
JP
it pairs well following a shrimp and oyster dinner.
Ah.
Mhm.
JP has a little low, but it's number 3 on my list is the key lime pie. And I'll tell you, one of my favorite parts of Dexter is when he's in search of the perfect key lime pie.
Yeah. Okay.
So my number
Yeah,
3, and please don't tell my mom. My number 3 is chess pie. She makes a fantastic chess pie. It's brown sugar chess to be specific. But when you hear my top 2, you'll understand. But yeah,
Chess pie.
brown sugar chess.
Nice.
That's good.
Yep.
JP, number 3.
Number 3 for me, pecan pie. And
It's a
specifically,
pecan.
I know. At least I didn't say pecan. Pecan pie. Specifically, my wife's family is from the Delta, Mississippi, where they have a lot of pecan trees. So we get fresh, original pecans, and
Straight off the ground, huh?
straight off the ground. It's excellent.
When I lived on Sand Mountain, I had to pick up the pecans from the pecan tree, and that was not
Okay.
fun. We just put a tarp down.
Yeah.
There you go. Scoop them into it, huh? Okay.
That's number 3.
My number 2 is chess pie. I
Okay.
mean, can't go wrong with chess pie, man. And Sarah makes a good one too. So
You cannot go wrong with chess
big fan
pie.
of chess pie.
My number 2 though is chocolate chess.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
He doubled up on the chess. Yeah, I like it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
if there's ever an option, Mo will always pick the chocolate chess. I think we've seen that happen a few times.
That's a good one. My number 2, cheesecake. Now there are 1,000 different types of cheesecakes, so I can't pretend to single one out. So we'll just go with cheesecake. But there are 1,000 different flavors.
I was racing against time last night when I left Zion Christian trying to get to Cheesecake Factory in Franklin to grab a slice for me and Jody before they closed for National Pie Day, and actually made it. So
Well done.
that was
What'd you
good.
get?
Yeah, I got the salted caramel cheesecake,
Okay. All right. There you go.
and I got Jody the what is it, berry cherry Ghirardelli.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, that's her go-to. Anyway,
Number 1s now, Chris.
number 1s.
Number 1 for me is very simple. Peanut butter pie. I love peanut butter pie.
That is simple. My number 1 is pecan.
Mm.
Chris doesn't like pecans, man. I don't even know how he's actually from the South. He must be.
Yeah, I don't either.
He's a cranky Yankee in disguise, I think. But yeah, pecan pie.
All right. My number 1, Mo, is the chess pie, but I have in parentheses specifically chocolate chess pie. Boom.
There you go.
Gotta love it. Chocolate
go.
chess pies. That seems to be chess pie, chocolate chess together seems to be the consensus. Here.
Solid.
The consensus has been reached,
Yep.
my friends. That is it for Top 5 Tuesday, presented by Midtown 5 Fitness and our friends at Thales Steel, steelathletes.com. For those of you interested, Tyner defeats Bolivar Central 66-59, and at halftime, the Milan Bulldogs lead York Institute 24-18. The winner of that one will take on Tyner in the semifinals on Thursday at sometime after 3:45.
Sometime before originally scheduled.
Yes.
It will be before the women's NIT matchup later that evening. Yeah, I don't know exactly what
Got
time.
nothing.
But thank you guys for hanging out with us today here at Ridley Park. Make sure to catch full coverage of the Summertown East Nashville game on Main Street Murray, and as well of the Mid-State Classic, which will take place later this evening. If you have not gotten down here, if you have not gotten a ticket, I'm not sure there are any available remaining tickets, but head down to Ridley Park and see. You never know. You might be able to get in. So we will have full coverage again. MainStreetMurray.com. We'll be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel right here on Main Street Sports Today. For JP and Mo, I'm Chris Yassing. Have a great day. See you then.